Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. I am back with another video. And today I will be going over two setups. One that I did not take, and I wanted to show you all why I didn't take it and which market conditions you should try to stay away from. Because while there are always opportunities in the market, certain market conditions you just should not trade. And secondly, I want to go over a loss that I took yesterday because there were some lessons learned, and I wanted to share those lessons with you all to show you that you don't have to walk away from a loss empty-handed. You might not have profit in your account, but you can walk away with knowledge that will help you to make better decisions in the future when it comes to your trading. So I'm going to go over that. And then at the end, I will have an announcement for you all. And hopefully my pregnancy brain will not stop me from remembering to make that announcement. So let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that. All right, so first, let's go ahead and look at the trade that I did not take. This was a trade I was eyeballing, I think, well, yeah, so last Thursday, I'm on a 3 hour chart. So last Thursday, I saw this order block forming, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's a trade I want to take. And then I go back and look at it. I believe it was Friday morning, and I said, nope, we're not taking this one. And I don't have my previous day high, previous week low, all of those lines marked up on the chart. I did at the time that I was considering taking the trade, but I've removed them. And really all I have is just the order block so that you all can see, um, why I didn't take it. Um, and so this is what the chart looked like when I came, when I sat at my computer on Friday morning. And I'm like, okay, I think we might have a setup. It did not take long for me to be like, we're going to have to pass on this one. And so I'll bring up my top-down analysis, um, because I did start to go through it, but I didn't even get through the whole thing before I came to the conclusion that this was just not a trade that I was going to take. Where did it go? Where are you, top-down analysis? There you are. Okay, so I won't type up my responses. I will just tell you what those responses were when I was doing it, just for the sake of time, right? So, I asked myself, where is price coming from and what did it accomplish at the most recent swing high or swing low? So, ignore this up here. We're going to go over that as well. But this is the setup that I was looking at for Friday morning, right? So I'm asking myself, where's price coming from? What did it accomplish? And I'm saying, okay, it filled this imbalance that was left behind, um, came down, took out some sell side liquidity that was, right here, took out that sell side liquidity. But I'm already, not liking what I'm seeing because I'm like, I'm noticing all of this liquidity up here. And again, I told you all that liquidity is just money and orders resting in the market, right? But the way to identify it is by equal highs and equal lows. So if you see like we have these two equal highs right here, we have equal highs right here, we have equal highs right here, you know, um, we got, we got wicks up here, wicks down here, which price, kind of took out. But this was my main area of concern. And so the reason that's important is because when you see price, and mind you, this is the 3 hour chart, right? So when you see price constantly coming to the same area, that means that that is a strong level of interest for market participants. And big money knows this. So they will manipulate price to go to those places, to fill those orders and use that money that they've now taken, that they've now put into the markets to push the market in their intended direction. So, so that's how stop hunts occur, right? That's how you get stopped out of your trade before price goes exactly where you thought it was going to go. That's liquidity, right? So liquidity is really what causes stop hunts for the most part. And so that's why I was concerned. And I'm like, I don't like what I'm seeing. Like already, I'm not even done with this analysis, and I already don't like it. So I did see that it filled that imbalance, but just could not ignore the equal highs that I was seeing. I was like, oh, so that was red flag number one, and really the main red flag. But we go on the next, to number two, where is price going and what does it look like it might target before creating the next swing high or swing low. And so I noticed, okay, price went down and took out the sell side liquidity, but what it did not do, and what became the second red flag for me, was it did not create a lower low. Okay, so without a lower low, and I'll just use my pathway tool. Why can't I ever find my pathway tool? Where are you? Where are my favorites? Oh, there they are. Um, so the only way to know that you are in a confirmed downtrend is a lower low. So we've got, lower highs, but then we have, so price gives us a lower high right here, but then it gives us a higher high, and then it gives us another higher high. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason it did that, and it was because it was targeting an order block up here. So it makes sense, right? It has to buy up in order to reach order blocks above where price currently is. I get it. That makes sense. But then when it failed to give us a lower low, breaking this low with the candle body and then breaking this low with the candle body and ultimately ending up down here somewhere to confirm that we're in a downtrend, that's when I was like, okay, so I don't even know what I'm in. I can't say that I'm in an uptrend because it's giving me higher highs, but it's not, and it's giving, in some cases, it's giving me higher lows, but it's still trading below this high right here. And I can't say I'm in a downtrend because it has not given me a new low. So with the liquidity resting up here and the lack of clear structure, I was done. I think I might have gotten to here when I, had to answer my questions about whether the time frames were aligned, and they weren't. They were a mess. So let's go to the daily, um, so you all can see what it looked like when I was looking at it that morning. I'll take this off so y'all can see. I'll spread it out. Doji. That's what I see, and that's what I saw when I looked at the daily chart that morning. I was like, all I see is a bunch of dojis. I have this one, super bearish candle. I have price buying up, but that was a doji. On this time frame, I'm sorry, on this particular chart, this broker's chart, but I think on a different broker's chart, it wasn't a doji, but even still, okay, doji, doji, doji. I was like, oh, this is ugly. Like, no, we're not even getting any candles that are moving in a very clear direction. Price was just ranging. And actually, I do want to drop, I want to very quickly drop the previous week high and the previous week low, because I'm going to remove this so I can see, because I can't see what I'm doing. Um, get away. Okay. So I do want to mark up the previous week high and previous week low because um it helped me to see something. And I was like, oh yeah, no, we don't want to trade in these conditions. So previous week high, previous week low. Now I won't even do the equilibrium because um you can still see what I'm going to show you without that, right? So go back down to the daily. I noticed, oh, we haven't even broken last week's high or low. And what did I tell you on the last video? The reason I mark up my previous week high and previous week low is just because it helped me to see where price is relative to what it did last week. So if it breaks the previous week high, okay, we're probably going to be bearish this week. There's possibility. I'm sorry, bullish. If it breaks last week's low, okay, we're probably going to be bearish, right? Um, but as you can see, it did neither one of those things. It didn't break the high or the low. It stayed within it for the entire week, which to me says, oh, price is ranging, and we don't trade a ranging market. So when price is ranging, for those that are not familiar with that term, it just means that, again, there's no clear market direction. There's no clear structure. Price is just trading in a range. And very quickly, before we move on to the next setup, a ranging market is different from a consolidating market. Okay, consolidation. This is the 3 hour time frame. So I'm not sure that that's a good. Actually, there was some consolidation yesterday. I'll show you. So this is a ranging market, right? No clear direction, not going anywhere, not creating higher highs and higher lows. We need both. Okay, don't just give me higher highs and no, higher lows. Don't I need both? Um, So that's a ranging market, right? It's not consolidating. It's moving. It's just not moving with any clear direction. Whereas a ranging market, I'm sorry, consolidation. We did have some consolidation yesterday. Oh, I'd have to fast forward, but I mean, you can still see some like right here, right? Consolidation is just pricing going nowhere, like nowhere. This is the 15-minute chart. So price consolidated. Um, is that 12 a.m.? I think that's 12 a.m. No, that's 12 in the afternoon. So, like, this is last Wednesday from 12 in the afternoon, last Wednesday. Didn't break out of that consolidation until market open the next morning on Thursday, So this is consolidation, right? Like really, really tight movement. So basically, in this whole period, price only moved, I say only, 240 pips. So somebody got a trade in there, just not me. Not me, because I don't trade in these market conditions. So I moved about 240 pips within that period. And then when it was ranging, it moved, um, let's see, about over 700 pips. So that's the difference, right? Consolidation is really tight. The candles are really small. Price isn't really going anywhere, whereas ranging, it's going somewhere. This direction is not clear. So that's why I didn't take that setup. Again, I didn't even get through my full top-down analysis before I just said absolutely not. Okay, between the liquidity and the lack of structure, I just wasn't going to do it. And so I will go ahead and um, play that out for you. And then we're going to look at the loss that I took. Okay. All right. So I'm going to quickly play that off. Bam. Stop loss hit. Stop loss hit. Okay. Because it sure enough came up and took out that liquidity that was resting about there. Okay. So now let's look at my loss because as you can see, and now that we're done with this, I'll just make it smaller and get it out of the way. As you can see, my stop loss for this setup was also hit. And this is the same setup that we analyzed together um, during my last video. But for those who haven't yet figured it out, when I recorded my video, I only had eyes on a 10-hour order block and an 8-hour order block. So I'm, patiently waiting for price to reach my entry. And then I noticed that price starts selling down. So let's just remove this real quick. Okay. I start to notice that price is selling down. And I'm like, okay, it's just selling down a little bit. It's just pulling back a little bit. It's gonna come back for me. By the time it sells down 200-300 pips, I'm like, Okay, so this thing is really selling down. Like it's leaving. And so I start asking myself, well, where is it selling down from? Like I said in the last video, price is very intentional, right? It's not random. It's not. I just if someone says price movement is random, I have to disagree. Okay, so I asked myself, I'm like, well, where is it selling down from? What did it tap? What did it hit that made it begin to sell down? I'm looking and I'm looking at the 10-hour time frame. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, okay, this might be common knowledge, but when it was first shown to me, I was mind blown. I was like, oh my goodness. So, so like if you're looking at a 10-hour time frame, this candle is still forming. Oh, I'm sorry, no. Okay. No, I forgot. We're not in the live market. So this candle right here is 10 1-hour candles, right? This 10-hour candle right here, move this out of the way so you can see it. Well, can't really see it. But this candle right here, or any of these candles on this chart, any 10-hour candle, when you're on a 10-hour time frame, that is 10 1-hour candles, right? If you go on the daily, I'm assuming the daily is made up of 24 hours, guessing, right? So one daily candle is 24 1-hour candles. If somebody knows, I'm like, is it 24? I mean, it's 24 hours in a day. That's what I would think, right? But 12-hour time frame is made up of 12 1-hour candles. And really any time frame, right? It's made up the 12-hour time frame is made up of 3 4-hour candles. It's made up of 4 3-hour candles. It's made up of 6 2-hour candles, right? So that's just how the market works, right? That's what it is. When you're looking at a time frame, it's just candles coming together to form a bigger candle. So that being said, I'm looking at the 10-hour time frame and I'm seeing these two candles, right? And I'm like, is that an order block? Is that a 20-hour order block? Mind you, like when for those of you who have been in the space for a little while, anytime at all, you hear about 5-minute order blocks, 1-minute order blocks, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. You don't really hear about all these random time frames that I have up here, but I have them because I keep discovering new time frames. I'm realizing the list is not exhaustive, and I don't need 100 time frames up here. That's ridiculous. But I just asked myself, like, is that a 20-hour order block? Is that a thing? Is there a 20-hour time frame? So let's see, right? I just jumped to the 20-hour interval, not even sure if it's actually a thing. Lo and behold, it's a thing. 20-hour time frame does exist, and there's a 20-hour order block. I'm like, bruh. Okay, so 20-hour OB. All right there, staring at me like, hi, you missed the trade because we did not come to your 10-hour order block. We traded down from the 20-hour. So it is what it is, right? It doesn't stop there though. So price actually sold down. Remember, I told you all that I had a 200 pip take profit for the sell that I was looking at. Price sold down a total of over 500 pips from that 20-hour order block. So when I saw that, I asked myself, okay, so now that this has happened, now that these sells have really played out, what's going to happen when it gets back up to my 10-hour order block, right? That's what I'm asking myself. And just for the sake of not having a bunch of clutter on my chart, I'm going to remove that. But that's where actually I won't, because I want to give you guys an analogy. So let's go back to the 10-hour. Okay, so I was like, I don't even know what's gonna happen at this point. I'm not sure. So those cells played out. Like I said, you can see that I got stopped out. But here's what I learned, and here's what I want to share, right? So I actually, and I want to make sure that I learned three things, and I want to make sure that I share all three of them with you all. So, one, because I did have my doubts. I was like, okay, price fell down really heavily. So just not sure if these 10-hour or 8-hour order blocks are gonna hold. Not sure. So for that reason, I did cut my risk in half. Um, and really, I probably should have stayed out, but I just didn't want to put myself in this mind frame where I am now afraid to take trades. You don't want to be afraid to pull the trigger. Like, I did my analysis. This wasn't a trade I took on impulse. I had been waiting, a few days for it. So it's like, okay, you know what? Gonna cut my risk in half. We'll see what happens. If it's a loss, it's gonna be a lesson, right? So the first thing I learned was if you are looking at a setup, right? And in this case, we're looking at shells, right? And there is a higher time frame order block, um, you know, below where you're looking to take entry. And hopefully you'll spot that higher time frame order block before. But even still, right? If you have, say you have a few order blocks stacked up on top of each other. If the higher time frame order block is the lowest, for one, price is probably not going to reach the lower time frame ones that are above that higher time frame one. So we have the 20-hour and then we have the 10-hour and the 8-hour. Price is probably not going to break through a 20-hour to reach a 10-hour or an 8-hour. It's probably going to respect the 20-hour. And this isn't just based on this one setup that I'm seeing. It's based on things that I've seen in the market several times, and that I've made note of just to kind of learn. So, like I said, I'm not just pulling this out of thin air based on one trade. It's just a pattern that I'm seeing. Um, then not only that, and this was my first time with seeing this in particular. Not only that, but if price trades down from that higher time frame order block, probably not going to respect the lower time frame order blocks above it in the case of sells, or below it um, in the case of buys. Like if price changes direction and begins selling down, it's probably not going to respect those lower time frame order blocks underneath the higher time frame order block. And it kind of makes sense. So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna drink a little water and I'm almost done. Um, it makes sense, right? Because higher time frame candles are stronger than lower time frame candles. They hold up, they have more authority, however you want to put it. Um, they're just stronger. Okay. Higher time frame candles are stronger than lower time frame candles. Higher time frame order blocks are stronger than lower time frame order blocks. Okay, they just are. And so think of it this way, right? Think of this 20-hour order block as the market's strongest soldiers, okay? This is, I want to say the market's Goliaths, but David ended up winning that battle. So, let's say the 20-hour order block is, is David's. No, but the 20-hour order block is the market's strongest soldiers, like the biggest and baddest of them all. The market's 300, right? You guys seen the movie 300, or at least heard of it? That's the market's 300, right? It's biggest, baddest soldiers, right? Whereas the 10-hour and the 8-hour order blocks, the market's, you know, newer soldiers, less training, less experience. Yeah. So by the time price breaks through this 20-hour order block, this line of defense, if you will, this, it's nothing. Like it can't hold it. These soldiers just do not have the strength to hold the market the way that this one did. This order block pushed the market down over 500 pips. These two order blocks caused the market to consolidate for a number of hours, but it eventually pushed through. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and jump to the live chart. Oh, go ahead and jump out of this actually. Um, oh, and look at that. It's actually selling down. Hmm, interesting. Um, and actually there is a it's selling down. And but I will tell you, there is a I'm not taking this trade only because I'm just like, look, you're gonna have to give me some very clear direction before I get back in this market. There is a 4 hour, let me jump to the 4 hour time frame. Um, there's a 4 hour order block down here. So it's probably coming down here to buy up from this order block. I'm not taking this trade only because I am really working on disciplining myself to trade in the very best of market conditions. So until this market gives me a new higher high, I'm not trading it. Okay. Order block is valid because it's succeeded by a candle 2 times the size. It's at a level of support, and it did cause a break of structure on the 4 hour time frame. But I still need my higher high. Okay. So probably selling down to come down and target this. Um, so maybe my little cells did work out after all. Let me see where that. Oh, see here. Let me see. I'm on a 4 hour. Yeah, so it wouldn't have hit my TP. I'm gonna take this off because it's confusing. But I had a two. Well, maybe I don't know. Oh, this is no. Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think it would hit my TP. My TP is here. The top of the 4 hour order block is here. So it can reject anytime once it hits this candle. Um, so, so yeah, I mean, I could have got in for a quick sell, but my rule is I only take 1 to 3s, period. We don't take anything less than a 1 to 3. And I just wouldn't be the person to hold through a 4 hour order block. So I'd get out before it. Um, which means I'd only get a 1 to 2, and I'd be violating my trading plan. But we'll say, hey, look, it's selling down, so maybe it's respecting that area after all. And it just did a stop hunt. But again, wouldn't have been able to take that trade because it would violate my rules. Um, but yeah, so even still, the analogy holds true because this, 10 hour flash, 8 hour flash, 10 hour order block is not going to push the market as far down. Or, you know what? Let me not. Okay, let me say it like this. I'm not sure that these order blocks will push the market as far down as that 20 hour did. If it does, my bad. But I'm sorry, I got a cold, so I mean I could be wrong. Maybe it will, but yeah. So just something to keep in mind, right? Like I said, when it got to that 20 hour order block, price just it bounced. It just, I mean, it didn't even look how far it pushed into the 20 hour order block. It pushed into it. Trying to make sure I get this all the way down, and then I'm gonna make my announcement and let y'all go because I'm sure a lot of you are working adults that have other things to do. You might have families and all of that. So it pushed into this 20 hour order block 17 pips. It wicked it. Okay. It wicked it. And it said bye-bye. And honestly, let me see. Actually, let me just make sure I covered all over the lessons that I learned. Okay, now just two other things very quickly. You can find order blocks on any time frame. Okay, the list is not exhaustive, but truth is, we're not going to spot them all. We might miss some opportunities. That's okay. There are so many opportunities in the market. It's ridiculous. So, and good opportunities. Well, I won't say it's ridiculous. It just depends on your strategy, right? There are people who can find a trade every single day. Me, because I require certain conditions, I don't find a trade every day. But I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, but you can find order blocks on any time frame. There might be times where you just don't see all of them, but just do your best to be as thorough as possible. And that's why I have that one step in my top-down analysis where it instructs me to look for all of the higher time frame and lower time frame order blocks because that's me trying not to miss anything. But as you can see, doesn't always work out for me, right? But I do try. Um, and then the last thing was I made the mistake of looking for a confirmation for entry on the 5 minute and not the 15, and I got played. Okay, I got played. That's on me. So one thing I'll say is, just very quickly, I typically use pending orders to get into the market. Um, Set my pending order, let it do what it's gonna do. That was working out for me really great for a little while. But I'm finding that not working out so great. I keep getting stop hunted. So now I'm having to learn how to take live entries in the market. And so I'm figuring out, okay, what is it that I need to see to serve as my entry trigger to get into this market. So I made the mistake of, here, I'll move this so you guys can see, of looking at the 5 minute time frame, and I was looking for an engulfing candle. Okay, bam, right there. I was like, oh, there it goes. It's a bearish engulfing candle. Let's go. Yeah, got stopped out shortly thereafter. Okay, so I should have been looking at the 15-minute time frame because when I checked, because I stopped looking at this trade at the market close, after market close yesterday. So let me see. So that's embarrassing golfing. That was at 7:30 yesterday. I wasn't looking at 7:30 p.m. I wasn't looking at the charts, okay? Let's go up to the market close. The market closed at this point. Oh, that's when it reopened. So closed at this point right here. Okay. Not a single bearish engulfing candle. Let's see if there was one on the, yeah, I mean, got a bunch of dojis, but there's no clear entry trigger, right? So yeah, so I got played. So that's another thing I learned. I'm like, I'm only looking for entry confirmation on the 15-minute, and sometimes that's too long. You might not get tapped in. Like with this 20-hour order block, that thing, when I tell you, where is that? That thing, listen, if you didn't know it was there, you didn't have time. Um, it came up and tapped it. This is 30 minutes. So let's go down to 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna move on and make my announcement so y'all can go. But this shit right here, I think this is it, right? Got the sell down that I'm looking for because it doesn't look as deep when you're on this lower time frame. Is that it? That's it. Okay, so look at that. I mean, so that's 30 minutes. But again, if you don't know that that order block is there, you missed this trade unless you chased it. We don't do that. We don't chase the market. Okay. We either get a timely entry or we let it go. Unless you have some sort of strategy for getting another entry. So be it. Maybe you could have gotten in right here on this 15-minute order block, but that's not my preference. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my preference. So yeah, so if you didn't know that order block was there, you missed the trade because by the time you realized what was happening, it was too late. Just like it was for me. It was too late. Okay, so again, this trade, these sales are playing out now. They appear to have swept the top of this 8-hour order block. Now they're coming back down, but just again, it, not sure that it would reach my take profit. So again, I only take 1 to 3 setups and that's it. Okay, so let me make sure I'm keeping up with the time because I got to do school drop off soon. So announcement. I remembered. Yay. Um, I will be going ahead and making the signals group public. I'll be sharing that link in the bottom of this video. I'll put it on my channel somewhere. I'm going to put it on my Instagram so you all can go ahead and join. But before you join, just want to make sure we're all on the same page, okay? So let's just go through this very quickly. and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Um, so important things to know, or to note rather, about come out of Egypt signals, okay, or just the community in general. There is no cost for this service, and there never will be. If anybody tells you that it costs to join this signal group, they are lying. They are playing you. It's a scam. Okay. There's no cost for this service and there never will be. Why? Because God told me, don't charge. He gave me a dream. I will not talk about that dream right now because we don't have time for all that. But He gave me a dream. And when I woke up from that dream, a few hours later, He said, dishonest gains. Dishonest gains. Basically, if I were to charge for this service, it would be considered dishonest gains. I revere God too much to take some dishonest money. Okay, it's not that serious. So that's why I said there never will be. Anybody tells you that there is a cost and this is the link, to send it to, this is the Cash App, they're lying. It's a scam. Don't give them no money. Okay. Next, we do not trade every day. I didn't take a single trade last week, and you can see why, because the market was trash, and the one setup I was looking at, my entry was off, so I missed it. Oh well. So I don't trade every day, and I'm really um just working on becoming even more disciplined, only trade in the very best of market conditions because I came across this really great quote. It was so good. I had to save it as my background. Let me get rid of all these notifications because I can't even see it. Um, It says you don't sharpen your edge by taking more trades. You sharpen it by developing stronger restraint. Okay, so we don't need to be in the market every single day. Again, there are people that trade every day. There's nothing wrong with that because that worked for their strategy. For mine, it does not, right? So we don't need to be in the market every single day in order to become better at the skill. We become better at the skill by being highly selective of the trades that we take and the conditions that we trade in. Okay, that's how we get better as far as it pertains to the way that I trade. Okay, I do not trade every day. So if you're looking for that level of excitement, probably not going to be the signal group for you. You might get bored, but even though we don't trade every day, I do, even when I don't send out signals, I still try to let you all know what I believe is happening in markets, based on how I understand it. So I don't just send signals, and if there's no signals, it's silence. No, I'll say, this is what I'm seeing happening. This is why I'm not taking a trade. Because it's not just about providing signals. I also want to provide education. I want you all to understand the market structure. So I do try to share, whenever I have the opportunity, or whenever there's something useful to share, right? Number three, we are students of the market, myself included. I am not a trading guru. I don't pretend to be. Okay. I'm still learning, just like you all. And I will always be a student of the market. I don't care where I am in my journey because the truth of the matter is you can never have this market on lock. Like it just because it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. So that means that we as traders have to constantly adapt. Does that mean I change my strategy every 6 months? No, not at all. My strategy has been the same since January. I've been doing the same exact thing. I've refined it a little bit to make it more thorough, but for the most part, been looking for the same thing since January. But like I said, pending orders were working for me, you know, a few months ago. Now they're not working out so great. So I'm like, okay, so now I gotta, work on taking live entries and getting good at that. So again, I'm a student of the market, and I encourage you to be as well because it will only help you get better at this. Next, if you are new to trading, please start in demo. Please start in demo. Okay? I don't care if you're taking signals. If you are new to trading, start in demo. Because if you don't know anything about lot sizes, Just start a demo, please. You will get in there and put on a standard, which is, 1.0 lot size, not even realize what you are putting at risk and lose all your money in like 5 minutes. Okay, so please start in demo. Become familiar with position sizes, with entries, and because I don't trade live. Again, these are signals, right? So there will be times where it's appropriate to set a pending order. There will be times where you have to take a live entry, and I'll say, look for a bullish engulfing candle or a bearish engulfing candle. If you don't know what that is, you're not gonna know when to get in. So start in demo. Start in demo, start in demo, start in demo. I know you want to make money, right? We're all here to make money in this market. But we have to prioritize learning over making money because when we do that, the money will come. But when we prioritize making money over learning, it's going to be difficult to make money. Why? Because your psychology is off. Because your desire to make money is causing you to make bad decisions. It's causing you to act out of fear, out of greed, out of fear of FOMO, fear of missing out. It just really messes up your mind. Psychology, super, super, super important in trading. Okay, so please start in demo. You will thank yourself. Don't lose money in this market for no reason. Okay? Losses happen. They are necessary, but some of them can be avoided. Promise, if you are new to trading, I don't care if you win the first two or three trades you take. Great. If there was no knowledge behind those trades, it was probably luck. Okay? And luck runs out. Please start in demo. Please. Lastly, I'm sorry, two more things. The more you learn about the markets, the more success you will have with taking signals. Okay, so that's why I'm saying start in demo, learn about the markets. Um, that way, when I say, mark up this order block, set your entry here, set your take profit here, your stop loss here, those terms are not foreign to you. You know exactly what to do. Okay, because even with taking signals, if you don't know anything about the markets, you can still fall flat on your face. Just saying. Okay, last but not least, there is a chat room. So there is a thread where I post signals and post some education. And then there is a thread that is a chat room. I don't plan to monitor it super heavily just because I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and the reason I took this path was so that I could, prioritize my family, right? So I won't be micromanaging it like that. But I do have close friends in there. Um, and my sister, my blood sister, is in there. Okay. And any one of them, I will ask them to snitch. If y'all see somebody in here cutting up, being disrespectful, being rude, just bad vibes all over the place, let me know because I will take them out. I don't tolerate that. I really don't. Like, please do not come in this chat room. Use the chat room to ask questions. And if you have an answer to a question, please answer it. We're here to learn from one another. I've learned so much from being in different discords and, community, trading communities, just learning from fellow traders. So, if you're sure of your answer and you feel that you can be helpful to that person, answer the question. But yeah, ask questions, share ideas, post your wins, talk about your journey. Whatever, it's a chat room. It's a place to build community and to connect with other traders. But keep it respectful and keep it positive, okay? Those who have difficulty showing respect will be removed, period. Because one thing I don't do is go back and forth with people. I know, especially not strangers online. I'm not going to do it. So I'm not going to come in the chat room and say, "Hey, that wasn't nice," or "Why did you say that?" or where I'm not even going to entertain it. I'm going to remove you. So keep it respectful, please. Okay. Please. Like, it's not hard. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Please, just no. Like, I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not. It irks me when I go into comment sections and see strangers going back and forth. What are you doing? Get off the computer. Okay. Shut it down. just stop. Okay. But above all else, trust God's process and enjoy the journey. Okay, because this is a journey, and it's a journey that could take you 6 months, 1 year, 10 years. I don't know. Everyone's journey is different, but enjoy it. Enjoy it and just trust that God is with you through this process. And if you invite Him into the process and ask Him to open up your understanding and to help you become the person that you need to be in order to succeed at trading, He will honor that. How do I know? Because He's done it for me. I've done a whole lot of fasting and praying, asking God to help me understand these markets. And when I tell you, I was mind blown when He did it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like it just to go from seeing lines on a chart to actually understand what I was looking at, I was mind blown. So just invite God into your trading journey. And trust me when I say He will honor your request. So, um, really hope that I said something helpful. Something, I hope you got something from watching this video. Again, the links to the Signal group will be in the description. Gonna put it on my channel somewhere. Gonna put it on my Instagram somewhere. I guess I should put my Instagram somewhere on my channel as well. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment, please. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.